Okay. In the interest of time, I'm gonna project our agenda so we can just go right into it. This session is recorded, so the people will join along the way, or those who might not be able to attend or participate in one way or the other will be able to listen to the recording. So just allow me project, share my screen, and just let me know what you guys are seeing on the screen. I need to log on my computer on my phone, so I know that I'm actually seeing whatever is going on. Just give me a second. Okay, so very warm welcome to all of you. So this is our agenda. We'll follow this agenda, and hopefully we can be able to finish in under 2 hours. This session shouldn't last. Okay, guys, I am so sorry. A second. Just really making sure that you guys can hear me now. Just give me a nod one more time. Apologies for the glitch in the connection.
Yes, we can hear you. I can hear you.
All right.
Speak from my.
Okay. Thanks, Lorna. So our agenda is going to follow this outline. We will have a short prayer, then we'll introduce ourselves, then there will be an opening remark, and then I will take you guys through what the Global MiMP program is about, and then we'll look at your surveyed data results from your application data that you shared, and then I will present the program, and then we can see if the program and the time works for us. That's what we will agree on, and we should be able to call it a day once that's okay. Does anybody have any amendment that we need to make to the outline? Are there any suggestions before we can move forward? Are there any suggestions? Are we okay with that? Guys, you can give me a thumbs up or something, because honestly, I am not seeing now. Okay, so that's okay. So we will go with that. Can I have one person lead us in a short prayer in a minute or two, and then we can just dive right into it. Any volunteer who is able to lead us into a word of prayer. Joy, do you want to lead us into prayer?
I
Okay,
think I
Lorna,
can.
go right ahead.
Okay, let's humble ourselves for a word of prayer. Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, we thank you for bringing us here together today from the various parts of the world that we are in. You tell us in your word that where two or more are gathered, you're in our midst. We ask you to come before us and open our hearts, open our minds, so that whatever we are going to discuss today will be for the glory of your name. In Jesus' name I've prayed.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Lorna. So for the introduction section, we'll have maybe just to give a little preamble. I also, for the cohort 3 participants, I did send an invite to cohort 2 participants to join in and just listen to the session, and so they can see what's new, what we've had it, and maybe also offer a word of advice or two if any of them will be available and willing to. So in terms of introductions, we'll first have the participants, the cohort 3 participants introduce themselves. So we'll go in the order of you tell us your name, which country you're from, what you currently do, and what exactly you hope that you'll be able to walk out of this program with. So it's gonna be popcorn, no order really. So whoever is available from cohort 3 participants can go. Once that is done, then we'll have cohort 3 alumni who have joined us on the call. They will also be able to introduce themselves. And then I will, if there are any facilitators on, I think I'm not seeing any at the moment. I should be able to invite them to introduce themselves. And then once that is done, in terms of the opening remark, the program quality lead will introduce themselves as they will make their remarks. And then I will also make a 1 or 2 minute remark and then just dive into the detail of the program. So we can have the cohort 3 participants introduce themselves. I think I will start by introducing somebody who sent in an apology. They are most likely to join a bit late because they're in hospital with their wife. They didn't give me details of what is happening, but they said they should be able to join midway, hopefully, once the emergency has been handled. That's Buyer from Burkina Faso. So maybe you will join along the way. Maybe you'll not be able to join. So yeah, that's one of the participants that will be joining us. So let me hand over to those who are on the call right now. Maybe Lorna, since you started, you can go ahead and introduce yourself. Please, if you're able to, turn on your video so we try to put a face to the name. It will be awesome for you to bless us with your video so we can see your face. Sorry, I have I'm a bit under the weather and not at my best, so you'll pardon me for that. So Lorna, go right ahead. It's over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Betty. I'm so honored to be part of this program. I wasn't able to join the other cohort because something happened to me, but I'm happy that I'm now able to join. I am kind of wishing the order of what to say has been displayed, but let me see if I can remember everything offhand. From Uganda, and I am a project manager with an organization called Start Hub Africa. And then about why I am interested in this program is the interest started with it being mandatory for all project managers at my organization. It was we were told to to carry on and start doing our own data analysis, monitoring and evaluation, and everything that comes with it. And it was quite interesting because monitoring and evaluation is something that I had run away from. My very first job straight from university was a monitoring and evaluation job, but I quite did not enjoy that experience because I feel like I fell in things. I joined the organization and they were doing like a 5-year project and they were in year 3. So I was in the middle of everything and I did not quite understand the project so well. But when I did monitoring and evaluation last year, I found the experience very fulfilling because I'm a project manager and I understand from the proposal writing, so I have a lot of content for it. So it was so easy for me to do the monitoring and evaluation for a program that I really understand. I enjoyed the data analysis, but I still had a lot of challenges in terms of my speed. I would like take a lot of time doing very simple things. So I remember reaching out to Betty, and around that time was when she started like the very first cohort of the mentorship program, but I wasn't part of that. So I am glad. I tend to speak a lot, so I think I should stop right here. Betty, would you please remind me if I haven't said anything? I'm sorry, I will not
Which
be able to show.
country are you from?
Oh, I said I'm from Uganda. I won't be able to show my face today, but I did send a picture in the group. So I hope that will be sufficient for now. I'm in the village and it's dark right now. So maybe the other during the other lessons I'll be able to turn on my video to show my face. But yeah, I'm Lona. Thank you so much, Betty, for
That's okay.
letting me speak.
That's okay, Lorna. That's fine. We'll still have many sessions that we'll have together, and I think the team will be able to see you. Who is going next?
I can go next. Okay, greetings everyone. My name is Wiza from Zambia. I'm not sure about the time difference across the board, but it's actually evening where I'm. So good evening. What do I do? So I work as a monitoring, evaluation, and research officer for a Swiss NGO called Solidamed. I've been working in the M&E space for, I'll say maybe over 7-8 years, somewhere there. And what led me to this program is basically I've been looking for a mentorship program with regards to M&E because quite all right, I have the theoretical knowledge and I have worked within the M&E space, but I wanted to be intentional about finding programs where I could connect with people who've worked for a longer time and just get that mentorship so that I can even have more knowledge, more skill, and then also be more confident to apply for more senior roles. So I thought this was a great opportunity to just learn more about the space and just be able to interact with like-minded individuals across the continent. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Wiza. I hope I have pronounced your name okay. If not, we'll get it along the way. Who is coming next? Joy, do you want to go next? Or defense? Any of you could go. Okay, please.
Okay, let me go next. Sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, okay. So my name is Defense Ngele. I am from Kenya, and I'm currently working as a project management consultant in the research space. But before then, I was working with Geopol as an associate program specialist with Geopol. And basically, the reason as to why I was quite interested about this program is because I've really been wanting to elevate my M&D skills and also just get practical skills, because I've realized that there is a lot to learn on the M&E world that intersects with the research work that I do. And I realized that it was quite timely when I saw this program, and it's funny enough that I saw it on LinkedIn. And so thank you, Betty, for sharing that opportunity. And then I got to apply. So for me, basically, I'm just curious to just put some of the theoretical things that I've heard of, seen into practice, and just see how they evolve in the real world. Because in the daily research practice, there is a lot of M&D going on in the background. And as my previous colleague said, just about being intentional about it. So I want to learn more and also be ready for the opportunities that come. I need those opportunities to find me ready. So yes, I'm very happy to be here, and thank you everyone. Yeah.
Thank you, Defense. Shana, do you want to go next? I think your hand was up.
Yes, thank you, Miss Betty. Happy New Year, my colleagues and the facilitators on the call. I am Shana Agnes from Uganda, Kampala. I am a clinical psychologist by profession, but I recently joined the postgraduate diploma in monitoring and evaluation. I've done one semester, but the person who's just joining, when I saw the call for applications to join the mentorship program, I grabbed the opportunity because I'm just joining the monitoring and evaluation field. Or maybe let me give a backstory of why I picked interest in monitoring and evaluation. As you know, there are very many mental health crises going on around the world, and very many projects have been put up in place for different communities, different age groups, but their impact doesn't last long. So that was the big question for me, like what is not being done well, what is not being done right? How can we make things better? So I was like, oh, this could be the gap, the loophole that maybe is not filled. So that's why I looked into joining monitoring and evaluation, joined the program. When I saw this call for applications, I grabbed the opportunity, and that's why I'm here. I hope to learn, network, and yes, pick everything I can from my fellow participants as well as the facilitators. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. I see Immaculate. You're on. Please go ahead. What's the phobia with people trying to turn their cameras on? Great.
I would, but where I am it's relatively dark, so you wouldn't even see my face. I'm actually seated outside.
No problem. Go right ahead.
All right, thank you. I'm Immaculate Akon from Uganda. I've been doing a lot of work in the NGO world for a while, and I do researches for Save the Children in Uganda. Then we also support the M&E department. Recently, I decided to join the M&E, the postgraduate class we completed and graduated last year. So I'm more focused in M&E at the moment. I want to sharpen my skill, learn more how to do analysis, and all that is that entails M&E. That was my motivation for joining this class. I want the practical skills right now so that I'm able to do most of the things by myself. So I'm quite the mentorship class will take me there. Thank you.
Thank you, Immaculate. Brian, I see you around. You can go up next.
Yes, thank you very much. And I hope you're able to hear me. Good evening to you all. And good morning, good afternoon. I'm not sure of the time lines you have there. So, yes, as mentioned, I'm called Lematia Brian Aliti. I'm a Ugandan by nationality. What interested me, what made me to apply for this course once when I saw it on LinkedIn is that I now have 3 years experience in M&E. My first year, I practiced M&E for a CBO without acquiring the knowledge and the skills. So I was learning on the job. After that 1 year, I had to enroll for a postgraduate in M&E to gain that proper confidence. And after I graduated with the postgraduate, then I joined the national NGO where I've been working on 2 projects as M&E officer. And I loved it. I loved it with my background of a social scientist. I have a bachelor's in social science. So when I saw this, I felt it was an opportunity for me to deepen my knowledge and skills on M&E, especially in terms of research. Because as I practice M&E, I realized the element of research is core. Now, the CBO I worked for and the national NGO where I work for, this component of research has not been so much emphasized, but I realized it is very key. So I felt this would be an opportunity for me to learn more about research from my colleagues, as well as also deepen my analysis skills, so that I can look forward to seeing how I can add value to my community, my society, and also other organizations or partners I will work with in the near future. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So David, do you want to go next?
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
My name is David Omkota. I'm a Ugandan. Concurrent in my profession, I'm one HR officer from Kumba University. And I picked interest in this course because there's so many course content that aligns with my profession when it comes to learning and development, the data visualization. However much I have a PGD in monitoring and evaluation as well. So that's where I picked my interest in having this course. Thank you.
All right, thank you, David. I'm not sure. I think I see Priscilla. Priscilla, do you want to go up? Oh, she's dropped off. Not sure. Okay. Is there anyone among Cohort 3 participants who hasn't introduced themselves? Now is the time you can just introduce yourself. I'm trying to look through the list. Oh, Millie. Millie, I think you haven't, have you? You could go up next.
Okay, thank you, Betty. I hope you're hearing me. Good evening, everyone. I'm Millie Nansamba from Uganda. Currently, I work with Kumba University. I work as an intern auditor. I trained in M&E, and I did theory mostly, but I've never been into practice, like practicing. I needed some mentorship programs. I needed some training, and I was recommended by a friend. So I decided to take it on and also improve myself. Maybe I could switch fields and get to M&E. And even still, since audit is more or less accountability, I needed something that is result-oriented. And M&E goes beyond accountability. We go to result orientation. So I needed to change and expand myself, diversify. And then you never know, change fields and also meet new people. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Millie.
I'm done, Betty. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we've pretty much exhausted all the Cohort 3 participants, but just in case there's someone who hasn't, please feel free to pop up. But we can now move to the previous alumni who are on the call. Feel free to just quickly introduce yourself.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. We can hear you.
This is Okot Daniel, Cohort 2. I'm really privileged to be among the Cohort 3. I would really love to encourage you that what we had was so intense and it really gave us, opened us opened our eyes out to see what really happens on the ground. And through sharing and through intense work given through Betty and our colleagues, we managed to successfully finish and graduate. And I would love to encourage you the same, that there are materials worth, and the little you have paid, you will not pay it in vain, because you have the time to share with colleagues and to learn intensively. Thank you very much. I would like to stop here. Court to Representative Daniel. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. I think I see Shifa also on the call, and Kibet. Feel free to just pop up.
Good evening, Betty. And hello, Court.
Good evening.
My name is Shifa. My name is Shifa Kanyunyuzi, and I am from Uganda. I was on Court too. And all I can say, it is worth it, for lack of a better word. Yeah, you will not regret your decision to be part of this program. Thank you, and I wish you the best.
Okay, thanks, Shifa. Kibet, go right ahead.
Thank you, Betty, and good evening, Betty and Cohort 3 team.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. This is Kibet Kirui, Cohort 2. Thank you, Betty, for the invite you gave us to join this Cohort 3 session, and I want to say thank you. I want to encourage the Cohort 3 team that in Cohort 2, what we learned, actually, I can say we got a lot of skills and knowledge in the field of monitoring and evaluation. So I want to encourage each and every one of us that you join at the right time, and whatever the amount of money you paid, it is worth the knowledge you're going to gain and the skills you're going to gain in this session of Cohort 3, that is the MIMP program. So thank you, Betty. I am honored to be here, and I believe we're also going to learn a lot as we continue in your program. Thank you.
Thank you. I think everyone else is introduced. Let me just quickly check to be sure. Oh, Agnes is here on the call. Agnes, go right ahead.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. I hope everyone is fine. Nice meeting you again. A few that I know. Madam Betty, hope you're good. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Everyone else has introduced. I don't see facilitators online for now. I can understand they are probably caught up doing other stuff, but you will be able to interact with them along the course of the program. So the introductions are done. I also do not see a program quality lead on the call. So whenever he pops up, I will have him come join the class. Just give me a second. Let me mute. She's unaware that she's muted. She's unmuted. Okay, she's muted now. So just at this point, just allow me to give an opening remark, and if Ezra, who is a program quality lead, joins, he will be able to make his remarks. So my remarks are really going to be few. I feel like the team, the cohort 2 participants have already spoken to what I wanted to speak about. But let me just start off by saying a happy new year to all of you. I hope you're all well. I hope the Lord has kept you and your family well. And I hope that the new year has started off well for you. And also to say congratulations to Cohort 3. Not all of you are on the call. But also, I just want to say to you that you're the lucky few. For those of you who are in the WhatsApp group, if you go to that WhatsApp group, there are a lot of people on that group. But just imagine the people who have joined and those who have made commitments to be here in terms of meeting the program costs. You're few. That means people will see opportunities, they just pay very less attention to detail. They see, oh, it's mentorship. Let me go apply. I have a feeling some people didn't even read through the application. They just went and filled and submitted. And yet there were very core information in the application, in that if somebody read and saw that they were not able to participate, they could have just left the application form alone. But nonetheless, this is just to tell you that probably our mindset, we just want free things. We will talk more about this when we get to actual sessions. You know, when you do trainings or if you organize trainings for those of us who are in the NGO space, you've invited someone to give them skills, knowledge. They will still ask you for transport refund. They will still ask you for allowance. You're giving someone skills, knowledge, and expertise, but they still want you to pay them. This is our mindset. We don't want to invest in ourselves. We don't want to invest in our personal endeavors. We don't want to invest in our careers in terms of the financial aspects. But we think that everything should be free. But you know, one thing I learned is that when everything is free, you don't put value to it. You don't concentrate. Because you have nothing to lose, right? So at this point, you're the few people who have shown commitment, who want to invest in your personal lives, who want to invest in your professional life. And all I want to say is a huge congratulations to all of you. You've not made any mistake. You have made a very good investment in yourself. When this program is done, just like some of the participants of Cohort 2, when the program was done, some of them sent me a message and like, but how comes you just charged us only that money? I can even pay 3 times or 4 times the money that you've charged us, and I won't have a problem with that, because whatever content you guys have provided us, you can't even get it in formal institution. It's not the approach of teaching that they give us in formal institutions. So I just want to assure you that this is an investment worthwhile. You will appreciate the conviction that made you take up the opportunity to pay up for this. And they say make wishes, but you need to be strategic. You're not praying for a new job. You're not praying for better opportunities, and yet you're not upskilling. You don't want to invest in upskilling. How is that opportunity going to find you? Yeah. So this is a huge investment for you, and I can bet my hand for you to take it to the bank. This year is gonna be very different for you in your professional life. This program is gonna make a huge difference in your life. So I just want to assure you that at the end of this course, if your expectations are not met, please let me know. But I'm pretty sure by the end of this session, none of you will tell me that I don't think there was value in this program, because I can already assure you, you're gonna get the value. It's gonna be intense. We don't joke, we don't play, because this is a brand. We don't want you to be in this program and get out the same like you have come. It's gonna be tough love. We are gonna micromanage you to make sure that you do assignments, because that is the only way that you're gonna learn. So we're just laying all the cards on the table right now so that you know what you've gotten yourselves into. With that said, so some of the expectations that we have, the program team and the facilitators of you, is that you show commitment. commitment in terms of honoring time, being there to participate. We expect about 95% of participation in all the sessions. 95%. So if we have 10 sessions, just an example, compute 95% of that. And that other balance that you're not attending, for whatever reason that is not allowing you to participate, we have to be proactive and send in a timely manner notification to the facilitators or the program lead. I am not going to be able to attend this because of this. I just want to give you an experience. There's someone who participated in this program in Cohort 2, but before they joined this program, they had participated in another program run by a Canadian guy, Baba. It's called Baba Topper. You can search him up on LinkedIn. He's a very renowned guy in the, I think, software engineering world. Like, is really, if you mention that name in that space, everybody who is practicing in that space knows that guy globally. So this person shared an experience. That gentleman, they paid 7 million, the participants paid 7 million shillings in terms of, in Uganda shillings. I don't know how much that is in Uganda in dollars. Could someone help convert that? Any Ugandan who is on the call. 7 million Uganda shillings, and it was for a period of just less than 4 weeks. But that guy, if the session starts at 7, there is a way they have done I mean, there are people who have done computer, they have all the skills to do whatever they want to do. They've set up staff in that if the session begins at 7, if you log in at 7, you are already out. And they don't refund your money. You log in late, you don't have access to the class. You don't participate in just even one assignment, you're kicked out of no refund of your money. And you know why that guy was doing that? Because he wanted to protect the brand, but he wanted people to get the value for the money that they've paid. And trust me, the people who have gone through his program, everyone who has ever gone through that guy's program, even people who had never had jobs, all of them had, all in his cohorts, all of them had jobs. Even himself, he had so many contracts that his full-time team could not be able to execute. So looking at how you are participating in class, are you asking questions, are you interrogating, he would be able to pick a client and give it to you. I want you to be able to take on this project. Can you be able to do that? Will you be able to deliver on it? And they would deliver. So I might not be that extreme, but I would love us to be a bit responsible because we are building a brand, guys. You can't walk out of this program and still be very raw. That would be a disservice to the people who are running this program. So I can assure you it's going to be tough love. Let's just be responsible. Emergencies happen. I don't expect you to be 100%, but I would love for you to be very proactive. If you have challenges, please reach out. We will not say, oh, don't, you have to come and participate. If you have lost someone, I'm human. I'm not going to say, don't go for the burial, come to class. If you have somebody sick, I'm not going to say, come to class. If you are probably held up in your work, you're having a meeting that has dragged on and you can't be able, is coinciding with this class, I'm not going to tell you, leave your work, because that's being very rational. It's your job that is paying you. Probably it's the one that afforded you the money to be able to meet the program cost. So we are human. We will understand that, but we'd expect a bit of, being responsive here so we are able to work together. Would want to see a lot of collaborations between you guys, as you will see when I share the presentation, in terms of the diversity of the applicants, the paid up applicants. There are people who have never practiced M&E field. Also, if you are keen, you must have had that from their introductions. So we would love for you to be very vulnerable in this group. What happens in the MIMP group stays in the MIMP group. We also trust that you're responsible enough and you don't start picking whatever happens here and taking it out if it doesn't fit another circle. So we want you to be vulnerable. We want you to be open to sharing your experiences, but also sharing your knowledge, but also being willing to learn. I see very many accomplished people, and it can be quite intimidating to us, by the way. But trust me, with your very nice, beautiful titles, when we get into the actual work, you will begin to question your title because you'll begin to wonder, do I actually deserve to be here based on what I should have been doing, you know? So in other words, I want you to be very, very open-minded. Even if you feel like you're an expert, you are a seasoned meal professional, be very open-minded. I am pretty sure you're going to learn a thing or two from here. So be open to sharing and to learn, even when you're a senior person. For those who are new in the field, be curious, ask lots of questions. These are some of the expectations that we want you guys to have, but also let's exhibit professionalism. This is a professional space. In our interactions, let's be courteous, let's be respectful. It's the only way that we can actually be able to share this. We are hoping that we can have 100% completion rate. Participation can be a bit low in terms of covering the sessions. You could have 95, some people can have 100%, but we hope that we are actually praying that all of you complete the program, because you must have worth of your money that you've paid. We will be able to provide you certificates. These certificates will really be very valuable. I don't know how the Cohort 2 participants feel about their certificates. The people who have signed them are really, really very accomplished people. So I can bet that if you showed someone that certificate, and maybe if they're curious about what this program was about, the good thing is we list the certificate on the front, like certificate of completion awarded to David Wamutoka or somebody, but also on the back, we list all the things that we have covered. So anybody who looks at your front side of the certificates and begins to wonder what kind of program did you actually have in this particular mentorship, you can be able to refer backwards. But also people who have signed these certificates, if people doubt and they want to find more, they can look them up on LinkedIn and see what kind of weight they have. So that's just something that I want to be able to share with you. We will have session evaluations. For session 2, we didn't have like every session evaluation. And that's a learning that we've taken forward, because at the end of the program during the evaluation, we saw a lot of issues that we could have picked up and fixed if we had maybe after every 1 or 2 sessions, we ran a short evaluation of how people are feeling about the topics that I've covered. So we didn't have that in session 2, with the understanding that maybe everyone was asking questions, but it appeared that some people didn't have opportunity to quite ask questions that they wanted to, and maybe they felt like some sessions were a bit rushed or yeah. So for this session, one thing that is going to change is that after every few sessions, we'll be able to, it's probably just going to be a 1-minute survey to just understand how you feel, so that we better tailor the coming topics and sessions to meet your need. That said, happy learning, people. It's going to be fun. At this point, if you have questions, please keep them. But it's exciting. I hear names that sound very familiar. Brian, you have the name Aliti. Are you a son to Dr. Liti worked at the Ministry of Health. By any coincidence? I feel like that's a rare name.
Yes, yeah, that's my uncle.
Okay. So I was kind
Yeah.
of right. Okay, I worked in the health space for some time, so that name really sounded familiar. Yeah, so let me
Yeah.
go to the next session. We have just under 1 hour to get done with all of this. If you have questions, please keep them, take notes of them, and then we can have towards the end a Q&A session, and I should be able to respond to them. They don't have to be questions. You could have feedback or any comment that you have for us. So just keep those, take notes of them, and share with us towards the end. So just allow me now project my slides, and I take you a bit through what the MiMP program is about, how it's birthed. So now we are on agenda 3, where we're going to talk about the program. So I'm just, if you are on the WhatsApp group, you've probably seen our logo. When I'm explaining this, you could go back to the WhatsApp group and look at the group profile picture. So this explanation is, I feel like it's important so that you guys get to understand what we are doing here. Our logo is kind of a tree with very interesting things, and it really took us a lot of time to think through this, something that captures what we had set out to do. And I hope that these also resonate with you. So the tree for the roots, I think in the application data, we've told you that people will be providing you this mentorship of people who have actually practiced for at least a decade or more, at least a decade. Yeah, so when a root of a tree is like kind of a foundation, right? If you have a tree, if it has like deep root, it means that nothing can actually, whatever shakes the tree, it can't really fall down, right? So what that means is that we pick on our learnings that we have learned over the years, and we share that with you. We're not being selfish. We will speak through all the very funny circumstances and situations we've gone through while we are starting off, and what has helped us to stay, afloat. Somebody has their hand raised up. You could, I don't know if it's a mistake or you're not seeing the slide. I will allow that. Maybe they're not seeing the slide. Please go ahead. I can't see whose hands are raised. Whoever has their hands raised, please go ahead. Someone has their hand raised. I can see it on my screen.
Betty, it's you.
It's me.
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. Maybe on my other gadget, probably by mistake. So the roots is really the people who are going to provide you the support. They have solid grounding. They come from multidisciplinary space. They've come from all different backgrounds. They practice in a number of sectors that actually from your application data, most of you have practiced in. So it's very likely that one facilitator also might have practiced in some of those areas that you've highlighted that you have actually practiced in also. So for the trunk, it symbolizes growth. Yeah. We are moving from the knowledge that we have acquired to the leadership. Leadership is influence. Leadership is showing people direction and inspiring people to either dream big, to know that it's very exciting to hear you during your introduction, how you want to aim for senior roles. So hopefully this can be able to inspire you that even if you have not practiced, this is your first time hands-on experience to get into the meal field, you can actually climb to the very top. And if I told you my story, how I did M&E, I think it's more similar to what Brian spoke about. I came from a local government and a biostatistician, a bit of, I think the biostatistician work in our space for Uganda space, I would think of it as more of data management and quite frankly, little of M&E in real practice. So I came from that space and got into the M&E field. Of course, in the components of data management, I was superb, but on the other areas, because M&E is a whole systems. There's so many components, the research, the learning, all of those things. I fell short of that when I just joined. So you're not alone. It's not the end of it. And actually, this is a good opportunity for people who are trying to get their footing in the M&E space. I can assure you, how we've led the program is from the basics, and then it just keeps advancing to the more detailed aspects of meal. And when I get to the session of presenting the program guide, please don't look at the guide on the surface, because I won't have a lot of time to explain the nitty-gritty details of what this particular session is. Don't think if I say meal concepts, it's just what is monitoring, then what is evaluation, then what is accountability, then what's learning. And you think, oh my God, I have wasted my money. No, like we are gonna go deep into all of those aspects to just help you have an understanding for you to appreciate that. So also caution, disclaimer, when we get to that point, please don't look at the session and just say, oh my God, this, I don't know why I even applied. I'm just giving a disclaimer because I didn't have time to put the flash. I mean, it's a schedule. And then the leaves and fruits, of course, that's a symbol of growth. That means that when you guys go through this program, you bear fruit, you are able to increase how you measure impact, you're kind of gonna show a ripple effect because you'll measure impact better in your different organizations. You'll be able to kind of tell whether your programs or your projects are making sense or they're yielding the benefits that you had anticipated or that you had hoped it would yield. So you will be that ripple effect from this program. You make sure in your different programs, I'm pretty sure in most programming usually, they are what we call beneficiaries. So you will have them. And through this program, you'll be able to reach them. A bit of the M&E that you learn here is going to help you support how you work better with the people who the project is designed to actually support. So that's kind of a ripple effect, but also the ripple effect in terms of every time another cohort joins, there's already a pool that is piling up, and we come from different countries. So we will have a spread everywhere. And when we go to our vision and mission, you'll be able to see how this relates. So we'll kind of have footing where this is really getting into a movement, because that's the idea. This is not a formal institution where we teach theories. We just want you to be better, be grounded, and measure your results and impact better. Show cause for why money has been given to you, why money should continue to be given to you by measuring results better. And so that if you're working on a poverty, elevation project, more people every year as you implement your programs, more people are getting out of poverty because you're measuring better, you're helping these people. If you see interventions are not working well, you're beginning to chart ways forward with your program team. These are the activities that we're doing, but the way we're doing it, it's not making sense. I think we need to sit and rethink this approach. So in a way, kind of, you are actually supporting the team. And then, of course, the globe is a symbol that This is bigger than it's bigger than me, it's bigger than the facilitators, it's bigger than anything. They say if your dreams don't scare you, then you're not dreaming. We are actually in the future, we want to be able to really raise people who are grounded in M&E, a whole global network, not just in Uganda, not just in East Africa, because in Cohort 1, we had participation from 2 continents, Asia and Africa. Those were 6 countries. And then in Cohort 2, I think there were 5 or 6 countries participation. In this cohort, I think there are 6 or 5. But these are people who are actually just participating in the training. But in terms of application, oh my God. Like for Cohort 2, we had representation from 13 countries. Those 2 applied and showed interest. But like I've told you, I don't know why people apply. When you put everything clear, they still go ahead and apply, fill space for people, but they didn't participate. Same thing for Cohort 3, we had you'll see it when I share with you the results, representations from about 13 countries as well. But as you'll be able to see when we move forward into the sessions, it's probably just a representation from 6 countries. People have made commitments. So our mentorship program is like, we hope from the individual trainees who go through this program, you can be a forest. You start by planting a tree. If you plant trees, sorry, I'm gonna mute you, Immaculate. I think you unmuted unknowingly. If you plant a tree, it's a tree, but if you plant so many trees together, it becomes a forest. So that's what we are actually hoping for, that when we continue to enroll people, it will move away from just being separate trees, maybe a tree planted in Uganda, a tree planted in Kenya, but it can actually grow into a forest, because maybe through the experiences that each of you would have gone through, you're able to recommend other people to come and join the program. And so this is our vision. I've said it's quite big. We want to become the leading go-to alternative program for meal and project management. Right now, the focus is meal, but we are also looking around bringing on board project management. We're still working around with people who are certified and see if we can also bring, but there will be separate things. We won't be able to mix them. There will be meal, but there'll also be project management component run by really certified people have acquired certification in PMP, and they can be trainers for delivering that. So we want to be a go-to alternative for formal education, because I have gone through formal education. I have attended meal courses in formal institutions, but the teaching is just off. I'm not discrediting formal institution, but I am pretty sure most of you, once we start this session, you will agree with me that they'll give you theories, you come out raw. There's an experience that someone shared during the graduation for Cohort 2. They did M&E, but they were even struggling after they graduated. They were struggling to figure out, what exactly is my role? What am I even going to do after graduation? That's how bad it is. Like theory, even you have the paper, you know what is killing us? It's like, I don't know how we can revolutionize this, but there's this mentality that I can only employ if the qualification in the advert is master's. If someone has a master's, there's a way that questions when people are being interviewed is structured more on the knowledge, but it's not really focusing on the competence. What can this person provide? I can assure you that's why people will do exams and pass, because, yeah, people are ticking boxes. Does she have a master's? Yes. Yes. Or do they have a PGD, postgraduate in M&E? Yes. How are they speaking their English? Are they articulate? Of course, when you're going for interviews, you'll read these things and cram. You'll pass and get the job. But trust me, now you will begin to struggle on the job because you don't have clarity, you don't have grounding, you just know theories. And now when they give you work to actually do, you don't know where to start from. So we want to be that program. We are not saying don't go to formal institution. Please go, because in Uganda's case, they will still value that paper. Even when you tell someone, I am skilled in this, unfortunately, our recruitment systems for most of the NGOs, I believe, is more of ticking boxes, and they already have predefined questions. Nobody will divert out of the questions that they've set to kind of evaluate your skills beyond what they have in the paper, the interview checklist. So you will have all of your skills, and if you still don't have that paper, it might still be hard. But what I'm saying is, majority of you already have those papers. Majority of you may not have the paper in M&E, but you have papers in something else. You already have that educational qualification. Now, can you get grounded so that when you go through that interview, you read, okay, you prepare, do the interview, but then when it gets to real work, you can actually deliver. That's the difference that we want to see between you who has gone through this program and somebody who came out of the university or a higher institution of learning with a master's degree in M&E or a master's in project management, but they're struggling to even put together how does this strategy lead to this. So we want to accelerate your growth. Many of you said in the introduction, you're very ambitious, you want to advance to senior roles. And this might seem like very surface, but the conversations that we have in this program is very deep. People even share, I have had this experience. So if you were in this scenario, how would you navigate through it? I don't know everything, guys. You have gone through that experience. I've not gone through it. I might not even be able to provide you guidance in terms of how you could tackle that situation. But the people on the call might have gone through a similar problem. And because we said one of the expectations, we are vulnerable, we are open, and we are willing to share knowledge, people are going to raise their hands and say, you know what, this is how I think you can approach this. And then we just listen. And then we're like, oh, that really makes sense. I think maybe you should try this approach. So this program should be able to accelerate your growth, and at the end of the day, elevate your impact, because we want you to meet your dreams, go beyond just this program. For me, the measurement in terms of objectives, which I will share, is beyond this program, I should really see something from all of you, like something that has really changed, whether you've got a new job or you've been promoted, because I can assure you it's going to happen. I'm not blowing my trumpet, but that happens if you're serious about this program. So our mission is to really just provide high quality, customized hands-on training and mentorship to professionals in the mill field, but also those who are transitioning into the field, maybe even those who have never been in the field. So the emphasis, the underscore is customized and hands-on. I'm not here to teach you theories, and I'm definitely not going to teach you what is the definition of monitoring. You're never going to hear that in my class, because if you want that, go to ChatGPT, what is monitoring, I will give you that. That's not what we're doing here. We are not doing definitions. We are either explaining things, because the explanations are going to drive things on. When you know what it is, you can create your own answers. You can create your own ways of defining something without necessarily relying on book definition of what something is. Because right now, I don't care if you can actually define monitoring in what the book term defines monitoring, but can you actually be able to explain that? And can you explain it to a lay person? For me, even if you fail to get the book definition of monitoring, but you can explain using a simple example, that's a plus for me. So what are our core values? Here we have about 5. We want to do impact. I already talked about it a bit. We are very responsive. That's why we tailor our programs. This is probably, arguably, one of the only programs around M&E. Maybe you can search. Probably they're there, but I don't know. This is the only program that does customization for what your needs are. The rest, people develop contents and they say, we're going to do a theory of change. Then you go and apply. But for us, we give you opportunity. What exactly is your need? And how can we help you? And that's the difference that we make. And hopefully you can translate this into your different organizations. You become more responsive in terms of if it's accountability, communities and beneficiaries are telling you this is not working, you're picking up these issues and you're discussing it with your program teams. And you're translating those feedback into program improvement. You say, it doesn't work, can we explore other options and see what works? So this is responsive from, it's just an example of what responsive could mean in terms of the program, but also in terms of what you guys can view this as you get out of the program. Empowerment, of course. We are giving you the knowledge, the tools. The only thing that can change somebody's life is if you give them the tools, you give them the knowledge, the skills that they need to survive. Somebody said, I don't know if I remember the quote, but there's this famous quote that people say, if you want to, I don't know, but don't give me a fish, teach me how to fish. I think there's a phrase around there, yeah? We're not giving you the money. If we give you the money, let's say you met somebody who is angry, who has not eaten. Many of you watch TikTok, and there are very interesting TikTok videos that I actually see and relate to my work. Yeah, there is a needy person, and what comes in your mind, of course, the immediate needs that this person would need, but can you also think of a short-term or a medium-term need that you could implement to make this person get out of this? But for you, your thinking and your analysis is that, okay, they've not eaten, I give him money to buy food, that's it. In fact, you might even just give him the money. You don't know, he might not even use that money to buy food, probably because he has debts. If you send it on his MTN mobile money, he has debts on mobile money on the digital platforms. My Ugandan people will understand this. You send the money like, oh, I've given you this to buy food. MTN has chopped it. So you've not helped this person. Yeah, but can you show them a much better way that is sustainable, that can be able to get them out of where they are to another probably better state? Maybe sit with them and ask them, do you have anything in mind that we can implement to get you out of this? You will be amazed. Maybe even what they're telling you doesn't require a lot of money. So anyway, we want to empower you. I've listened to you guys speak. You have very ambitious goals and you're all doing amazing things. And I can't wait for you to really just get, I can't claim, I'm not claiming that if you excel in your job, this is solely 100% contribution of MiMP. Maybe it might even just be 10%. But we would be happy and honored if we had a break to that foundation to just give you that little bit of empowerment that is able to make you reach that desired change, but in a sustainable way. But also excellence. I have already told you, it's not mediocre people, it's people who have grounding, people who have walked through this journey. And some of the things in terms of expectations that I've spoken about is because it's part of excellence. We want you to get out there and be reflective of really what this program is about. And we believe in the aspect that every day you can do better. And that's why I've already also spoken about it in the beginning, that we will do regular session evaluation, because it's an opportunity for us to do better as the facilitators, and we'll also be honest with you if there are areas where we think that you can improve. We will obviously, in a respectful way, be able to dialogue and have conversation of how we can be better every single day. And beyond the program also, there's opportunity to be better. And that's why I said earlier on, be open-minded, don't close your mind. Like, you've already come, like, I know this. I want you guys to actually open your mind before I go to the session of the schedule. Because if you already have a fixed mind that I know this, you're not going to learn from this program. My humble appeal is have an open mind when you navigate through this program. If by the end of this program, now I am putting my hand, if by the end of this program has not added value to you, send me an email. I will send you back your money. I am saying it here. I'm not ashamed to say it. If by the end of the program, you have not had any value from this program, please let us know. We'll be willing to send you back your money. That I can bet my hand on. And what are the key issues that has really led us to design this program? It's not something that came up as that. I've really been going through this. I didn't speak about the inception, but I started this program the idea came in 2023, and I actualized it in 2024 with the first cohort of 40 mentees. But I did it on pro bono basis, and that time it ran for a period of 4 months. We started from March to July. But before that, there were really lots of issues that I would experience from people who claim they're seasoned experts, people who reach out on something you would think a male professional or a seasoned male professional should actually know what to do about this. So I will just quickly, without speaking, let me just list them, and then we can just explain them. So number one thing is that the professionals would not actually do their job. Like, they're not grounded, because you would get lots of requests. And if you are a male manager and you're probably having senior male officers or male officers, and you're looking at the quality of their work, you're really struggling, because you wonder, how did this person even become a senior male officer? Like, you cannot believe the kind of output that comes from this person. So this is my own experience, but also from people who reach out to me in other organizations. I am struggling. How do I go about this? Foundation and grounding is lacking. And then despite people who have studied, I had many of you have studied M&E, and some of you have practiced. I had 5+ years. There's somebody, I think Brian mentioned something, 3 years. But someone will struggle. You're in a meeting, they will struggle to articulate the actual M&E issue. That tells you that there's a problem with this person. Yeah. But it's not just my experience in one institution. It's through the different institutions, but also, like, colleagues, if you're in an institution and you have many projects, and maybe you get to retreats, or you have sessions where you have meal retreats and you're gathering and you're having conversations, you just sit and listen to the conversation, and it's like, no, something is not right. Yeah, people are struggling to even articulate on their own projects that they're managing. And then people are switching or joining the male field. First challenge is breaking into the male field, because already people who are there are struggling. Then you, who probably doesn't even have a foundation, becomes more complicated. So that's also one of the issue. And then I tried to explain earlier on that formal institutions rely mostly on theories. You might have group work, but group work where review of what you've done is like very secondary. Nobody will pay attention to like see the quality of what you've done and review thoroughly. So you walk out of this institution still very raw. I like to call it raw. I think my cohorts, previous alumni know me. If there is something they know me for, I like to use the word raw just to refer that you raw is like you unrefined. Yeah. They've not panel beat you, so you need a bit of refining. Yeah. So unfortunately, I don't know for other countries, but I speak for here. Yeah. Because I've gone through the systems here, and I know what from not just for meal, any other course that you undertake, there's really less attention to the practical, like the applied element of what we learn. Somebody gets out of the institution, they've done statistics, they want to do a small house in their village, but they can't even apply the statistics of length, width, and height to know that the wall is this, the length should be, the width should be this, the length should be this, and then how many bricks go this, to calculate and then help your father and say, Dad, if we need to make a one-bedroom house like this, I think in terms of bricks, we might need this. Like simple, basic application of what you learn in school. People struggle with it every day. Guys, I'm passionate about what I'm saying. So if I'm trying to overemphasize, forgive me. Yeah. So you study in school, it's just about papers. Like you can't apply. I also told my previous cohorts that at my undergrad, I really struggled because I'm this person who wants everything from first principle. Yeah. So I want to understand things, and I would ask the lecturer almost all the time, and they would just get frustrated. The students would get frustrated. And some of them after class would be like, do you want to remain in this school for 5-6 years? For us, we want to graduate. Let us cram and pass and graduate. But trust me, well, I didn't get like their first class. They crammed and got the first class. But if you met me and you compared me with people who got a first class, now we are in the world of work in terms of articulating issues, reasoning, critical thinking. I'm not blowing my trumpet, but it's just to tell you that when you reason out things from first principles, you come from first principle, it becomes easier for you to apply concepts. So also part of this is to like think through things from first principles to kind of help you think around articulation of issues. And paid courses. People who offer meal courses and they're paid. I don't know if any of you have had a chance to Google meal paid courses other than Coursera or Udemy, because Coursera, you don't have opportunities to ask questions and have live interactions and all of that. Have any of you ever tried to, excuse me, I have cough and flu. Have any of you tried to find a paid course and seen how much they pay? Yes or no? Okay, those who have said yes, raise your hand if there's somebody who has looked for a paid course other than the formal institution. How many? No, one. But I can give you an idea. Someone will give you 100 euros for doing a theory of change and the results from what? 100 euros for 2 days. That's 100 euros. Someone will hold a paid up 3 days in-person event, and they're charging you $500. Someone will host a 5-day paid up event, physical, and they'll charge you $900. If you go on the market, I think this one I might also give you my hand to take to the bank. You won't find any paid courses that is subsidized like what we are offering. It's not just subsidized, it's longer period, it's more content, it's just coming from people who have like a lot of experience. So what more could you really ask for? So these are issues that we're trying to solve with this program, yeah? And because I already said, courses are not customized. They have schedules already. You just pay and go learn. But I'm giving you opportunity, or we are giving you opportunity at this particular point in time. This is what your need is. You don't have time to wait for 6 more months when this person is running another cohort for theory of change. Your needs would have changed. This is your need. You want a theory of change. You want grounding. We are here to help you. Yeah. So those are issues that we have. And then, of course, I already said I would get like too many requests on LinkedIn. Actually, the number one reason why I thought of this was the request from LinkedIn. And then I would start responding to them individually. It became a time when I could not keep up with that. And I would just tell someone, I just do not have the time. And I would feel very bad because you'd see this is somebody who really needs support. So largely it's because of contacts that were coming from online, particularly LinkedIn, but also, like I told you, colleagues who want support. They're already in the field, but they want to understand, how can I navigate through this? I have this piece of work. I'm really struggling to understand how I can even start working on this and what pieces I need to fit together. So yeah, that's like the number one elephant in the room. Meal onboarding, not just meal. Anybody who is joining an institution, you've got a job. I don't know, you might be lucky if your organization is doing you service and they're giving you full board onboarding, like they're taking 1 month onboarding you on the job. But my experience and the experiences of people, like colleagues who we have like around the same cohort, it's been terrible. Like you get onto the job, for example, my first actual male job in the NGO world, my onboarding was 1 hour. Guys, 1 hour. Someone came and said, my name is so-and-so. So this is what you're expected to do. You remember the processes you need to understand. There are documents you need to locate. There are these things you need to ask questions. There 1 hour, I kid you not, I can never unexperience that experience. Like it stuck with me. And one of the things also that led to this is like, I think if I probably had a grounding before even joining this organization, even if I had only this 1 hour, I would have not struggled to like catch up. But I struggled on that role. I had to do a lot of DIY, but you also don't have time. You're learning concepts. None of these things that you see now, mentorships, they're not there. You're struggling. Like, it's bad. Part of this is when you go through this program, even when you join, you get a meal job or any other job, you should not struggle because you'll have an understanding of what exactly should an M&E person do. What would be my classical role that I need to perform, right? So those are just the issue. And what are we offering? Customized learning program. We give you hands-on experience. We're going to do lots of scenario-based things. If we're developing theory of change, we'll have a case study, and that's what you will work on to help you get. If you also have a project that you're working on, this will be a chance that you interrogate your theory of change and look at it if it actually makes sense. So it's hands-on. That's the value that we're offering. And we have already talked about facilitators with diverse background skill sets and all of that from all over the sectors. The value had is that every cohort is unique. The training is customized. Hands-on experience, highly skilled facilitators, the cost. You don't have to break a bank to benefit from this course. I've already tried to compare. what we provide and in terms of what is out there. So my idea for you is that when you finish this program, these are the things that I want to see. I don't know if it's seen well, but I want you to have grounding. I want you to thrive. And we want you to secure meal jobs and sustain. It's very important. Just give me a moment. Secure and sustain. It's not enough to secure. You're only gonna sustain your job if you know how to navigate the world of work. And it's interesting because it's just not gonna be meal. We're gonna teach you dynamics of work politics and all of that. So we want you to have the capacity to function in your role. Like if you're recruited for the role and you find an evaluation happening and they tell you take lead of this evaluation, you can actually jump on it and take it. We want you to thrive despite whichever environment they drop you in, whether it has too much politicking, whether it is people don't last on that job. You should be the difference, like last in that job. So people will begin to question, how are they able to withstand this pressure? Because we'll try to teach you, we will try to share, not just me, but all of us, we are learning together, share tips on how you can navigate those politics. We will give you all the tips so that nobody ejects you out of the system, because this is common, unfortunately. People will do things. They will not chase you directly from a role, but they will do things. They will treat you in a manner that you will be forced to resign because they have somebody they want to bring, but you're too good either technically, but you don't know how to navigate politics. They will eject you because you will cry on the job. They go to meetings, they're discussing how you're incompetent in your face when you're there in the meeting. They don't even have time to backbite you anymore. They say it to your face. But can you be able to defend yourself? Can you offer value? Can you withstand that pressure and actually thrive? Because guys, don't leave a job because your colleagues are pressuring you, because you can't withstand work stress. You need to be resilient. And some of the things we are doing, I'm pretty sure when we share some experiences, they will give you a bit of idea of how to navigate work politics. So it's the same as secure and sustain those jobs, because you shouldn't be losing a job after you've secured, especially in this dwindling funding situation globally in the NGO and private sector world. I don't know, what's the next thing? So this is what our actual, the phase that we go through in the program. You do the application, which all of you have done. You do that online application. We provide you feedback of the outcome of your application. And then, quite frankly, because we already have an understanding, everybody who applies, we admit them. Because we know, even if you get 2,000, you'll be lucky to get 100. People don't actually read. I think the next time I'm putting out a call for application, I'm going to be very mad and put it in bold, like, read all of this and understand so that you make sure you don't fill up space for people. Yeah, so anyway, I'm just saying, if we get 100, we will just tell them they're admitted, because we know majority didn't read, they just applied. And when you start contacting them and you give them next steps, they're like, I thought there was scholarship, or I thought this was free. And they're like, oh, I will look for money and attend future cohorts. So those things are there. They will always be there. And so what happens when we send you that feedback, and based on people who actually show commitment, because it's very useless for me to start tailoring content for 100 people. who will not be part of the program? What would be the value? Yeah. So what we do is that we wait and see people have committed, people who want to participate in the program. And those are the ones we filter out and look at what their needs are. And then based on that, we develop the application report, but then also develop the training program. And then finally, we come to what we are on today. We do an introductory session where we share with you what the program looks like. We tell you some of the expectations, and then sessions will continue to happen after that with continuous feedback. So that's a typical process of what the MiMP program is. Of course, at the end of it, I think I missed putting graduation, because you graduate. We have virtual graduation also in part because we are all over the world, so we can't have physical graduation. But we are thinking maybe this year, because we've been seeing a lot of applications from Nigeria. But unfortunately, actually, when you look at the data, when I present the data, Nigerians were leading in terms of those who applied, but none of them actually paid up. Some of them were like, the organization said they were going to pay for them, but up to now they haven't. I don't know, maybe they'll reach out since people have resumed work. I have no idea. But in the future, we are thinking maybe this year, towards the end or middle of this year, we'll have one virtual, one physical session in one of the African countries for status, because it's a bit complicated in other parts of the world for now. It might be Nigeria, it might be Kenya. So we are also, based on that, we are also open for your feedback and your suggestions if you think there are people who would actually benefit in your country, and we can raise a good amount of number that can be able to host physical sessions. Would be happy to do those sessions physical, but at least we are planning to do one physical session. Maybe not in Uganda. Uganda might be like the second, because we are really here. So it's very easy if we have to have a physical class, but we just need to find out if we have commitment. All right. So what are some of the lessons that we have already learned? I've already spoken about this. So many people will apply, but to get commitment, this is also for some of you who have initiatives, who have started businesses. Like, you'll start a business, like for 6 months, you might just get one client. Actually, for me, people who have given us feedback, they're like, girl, you have done exceptionally well, because it's not even easy to raise 2 or 3 people. I have people who do courses and they struggle to get participation. But I think I'm not disappointed. I am okay, even if people apply 100 and I just get 10 people. That's okay. Because also that means that we will have good time to interact with everybody and they will get attention. If we had like 70 people in one cohort, now we might have to start splitting, having different sessions for people. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's good. That's something that we can easily navigate on. But I'm also saying it's just a learning for you. If maybe you're thinking about opening a venture or any course, like, this is already a lesson that I'm sharing with you. Don't have too much expectation. Like have zero expectation. If it happens, it happens. It doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But don't put your mind like this is a do or die thing. And then if you don't get, you don't raise numbers, you're really very disappointed. You feel like you want to even stop the program. So we've seen this happening, but I'm very glad that we have people intentional in, we've had representation from quite good numbers. Sri Lanka, people have actually participated in the program. Sri Lanka, Nigeria, Kenya, I think Cohort 1 had somebody from Tanzania, and Liberia, Zimbabwe, some good numbers of people, some representation from some good countries, including Uganda. So we're already beginning to see great progress from the program. People have got jobs. People who didn't have a background in M&E, people have got jobs. There's someone from Cohort 1, when we did a theory of change session, they were invited for the interview. It was like God who was speaking through us in the program. Everything they brought for them in the interview was theory of change. And how he articulated, they gave them space to present and to work and then go and present to the panel. Like he just beat them hands down. And he got the job. Very well-paying job. I think at the time when I was facilitating them, he got a job where he was earning the same money that I was earning in the Ugandan context. That really beat my understanding. It was good amount of money. We've seen people who have, from the recent cohort, they have gone ahead to actually build systems for their organizations. Someone developed a very good program dashboard for the entire institution because they went through the session of Power BI. Someone went and began to do digital data collection from the Kobo Collect that we designed. They were able to design their own questionnaire and be able to use online data management tool to actually make work easier for them. Some founder, country director secured 2 grants from Cohort 1, and they secured last year, I think, 2 grants, donor grants. You know, if you work in an NGO, one of the things that donors will ask for when they come for due diligence is they want to assess your M&E system. Do you have something solid that can be able to measure how their money is being used? And they can tell them if results are being achieved. So they want to see all of those components. And because this person went through this program, they're able to put together, of course not excellent, but they put together something really, really substantial that when the donors came for due diligence, they saw they had systems. They were actually, they came for the graduation of Cohort 2, and they were sharing their experience. And it was like, guys, don't take this for granted. Some things might not make sense now, but maybe in a year or 2, you might be faced with some of the scenarios that you discussed in class, and it would just be a life savior. So for me, I've already said it's quality over quantity. I'm not bothered. If God allows and provides people with the financial resources for them to be able to attend the program, and I have 50 participants, I don't have a problem with that because I can scale, I can stagger my trainings, and we can be able to accommodate 50. But even when I have 10, 2, 3 people, of course, 2, I might not do it because it might not be an effective use of my time, given that I need to, and the money that you pay kind of goes into like, how do you buy data bundles? How do you facilitate facilitators and all of that? But what I'm trying to say is that it can also apply to you. Don't worry about quantity, but worry about quality. I can assure you 3 or 4 or 5 people out of cohort, about 5 of you who are on this call, cohort 3, you were a referral from either somebody who attended cohort 1 or cohort 2 because they spoke very good things about what we did and you joined. So for us, what we are focusing on is quality. Can we deliver that you actually walk out very satisfied? And you can even tell me, Betty, I feel like I need to compensate you more. Maybe you'll send me $100 and like, this was worth it. I'm not saying you should, This is not me begging indirectly. But what I'm trying to say is that we want to deliver value to you so that you be the one that speaks for us. it's difficult for people to blow trumpets. And it's also very difficult for us to keep writing these things on LinkedIn or those spaces. But if you've gone through this, you get through this, maybe you'll get to talk about them on your pages and people will begin to see, but what is this program? I need to look it up and see what it's about. So that has worked for us. And I want to sincerely thank those who have referred people to us. And we want to say that we will not disappoint you. And also, if you want to recommend us for now, we just want to look at support that we want to look to give in terms of institutions or NGOs. It's NGOs who are just starting up because they don't have the money to like hire a like full-blown consultant to do these things for them, like put for them a system. We can be able to support you, put up a system for you at a really, really subsidized cost. Yeah. So we are happy that the work is speaking for itself. So quality beats quantity, guys. It can work for you, whatever initiative you're doing. Don't mind of quantity or don't think about money. Like, let that passion and drive continue to drive you, even if you don't get the numbers that you would have hoped for. Like just have zero expectation. That's what me and my friends say. Like in life, totally have zero expectations, but let things surprise you. It's better that way. But if you have expectations and they're not met, you will just be disappointed in life. And that's probably the reason why people are committing suicide, because people really have expectations in life. And once they fail to meet, it's just chaos, complete disaster. So for me and the program, I just have zero expectations in terms of people signing up. If they sign up, that's okay. If they don't, it's also still okay, because I don't have my expectation off the roof. Yeah. But just make sure you're doing quality. It will help you in the long run. So this is what our program team is composed of. For now, we just have like the staff, people who really work through the program is myself. And then we have Ezra, who is a program quality lead. Ezra is an evaluation expert. He has practiced in this field, I think, if I am not mistaken, maybe it's even up to 20 years now, conducting evaluations, and he has worked with different World Bank ministries of health in so many countries out of Uganda. So he's the one who really grills me. He looks through the materials that we are using to support in facilitating the sessions that we have, and he makes sure that it really makes sense. And I can tell you that the materials are reviewed, and sometimes I don't like it because I feel like it's too much work, but these materials are reviewed and we speak about some of the things before we actually deliver them to you. Emmanuel is our advisor. He holds a PhD and he's an epidemiologist by training. So when we move to the facilitators, who have Kevin, I don't know if they've joined us now. Facilitators, Kevin is a public health expert, but also he handles research. Diana runs a data phonics. It's a program called data phonics. You can look it up on LinkedIn. And she's currently running a data visualization hackathon. She's also a friend, a personal friend, but she's an expert in meal, but also in data analytics. Boniface is a really, really seasoned meal professional. He's an expert. He's also a data analytics expert. And if you do know any of them, let me know. If you're familiar with any of these people, it can also just be interesting to just know that you know some of these people. So Chris doesn't have a picture yet, but he's also a meal expert. Please feel free. I'm going to be able to share this material with you guys. So follow us. We are The program is on LinkedIn. I've put the link there. You can also follow me. But in this meeting, you guys could also just drop your LinkedIn in the chat so that you begin to follow each other on LinkedIn and see there's also a YouTube channel for the program where we will actually be posting the sessions. They will be kept there in terms of probably having them on the Google Drive because of space. We will have them on YouTube, but the materials in terms of the actual presentations will be on Google Drive. So let me just quickly run through the application data. So, like I told you, we had a total of 76 people, and these are the countries where they are from. It was dominated by Nigeria, Uganda, and Tanzania, with Kenya, with Tanzania 3, Malawi, Nepal, Zimbabwe, Burkina Faso, Ethiopia, Ghana, Namibia, Rwanda, Somalia, and Zambia. So that's 76, but you'll be amazed how many of you are here. So these are your profiles, very, very accomplished professionals. You have masters, 33 of them. I can also tell you that the profiles of people can be very intimidating. In cohort 2, I had someone who had a PhD. You'd be shocked. But people have high profiles. People join this program, they're country directors, they're founders, they're directors, blah, blah, all of those titles. You might look at the application and be like, really? Yeah, you guys have very intimidating profiles. I say this in a good and nice way that it's really good because then it helps to tap from each of your skills and expertise. Oh my God, we have passed the time. It's 9. Give me 10 minutes. I should be done. In terms of how long you guys are practicing the field, a lot of you were between 2 and 5 and 5+, but we also had overall 7 who had not practiced. But among the people who will be attending program, 3 of them have actually not practiced M&E, and then 7 and 9, 6, and between 6 and 1 year respectively. So what are the current roles? This particular Sorry, I have a terrible cough. This particular slide is for only the people who have paid. And from here onwards, it's only for people who have committed to being in the program. We have 3 M&E officers here. We have a project management assistant, there's a program manager, there's a project management consultant, there's a counselor. We also, interesting to know, in cohort 2, we had a counselor. We have a volunteer M&E officer. There's someone who is not formally employed at the moment. We have MAL learning officer. We should actually say 4 because it's just the acronyms. There's an auditor and there's an HR officer. And then in terms of where you guys have practiced, the 3 people who have not practiced, obviously they don't have anything to say here. That's why there are 3 there. And then there are 3 people who have practiced in agriculture. There are 2 people who have practiced in livelihoods. There are people who have practiced in SRR, AHRR, One Health, that is human, animal, and the environment. So there's also somebody who is into primary health care. There are people in women's rights, governance, child protection, land migration, HIV, GBV education, peace building and conflict resolution, psychosocial support. I think this should be somebody who said they are into mental health. Then there's someone who has been in the market and social research space. So in terms of what our program is going to focus on, which is where your gaps are, there's a theory of change. You guys highlighted about theory of change, results framework, quantitative, qualitative research methods. I think Brian or somebody mentioned, which is more of linked to the evaluation. You might not see research methods in the outline, but it's gonna be kind of covered under evaluation somehow. And then there's data analysis, Power BI. There's project management. Will not deep dive, but will do project management. How M&E fits within the project management. Excuse me. How M&E fits within the project management cycle. I think I've already talked about Power BI. There's someone who specifically talks about accountability. And when we are diving into the concepts of meal, we'll talk a bit more in terms of accountability. I don't have any idea how many of you are into humanitarian sector right now. And how many are into development, because accountability is more pronounced in the humanitarian sector. The development space is kind of picking up, but not really. There's not a lot of rigor in terms of the implementation and monitoring. So we will talk a bit about that. I think this was Weza. I'm not sure if I remember your name well, pronounced it well. And developing data collection tools using Cohort. So when we get to this session, I would want you, if you have data collection tools like soft copies that you already have in your different organizations, come with them and learn how to actually program them yourself on the tool. If you do that and you leave when you've programmed a questionnaire, that will be a plus, because if you practice and answer and enter everything in the tool, then that means you're good to go, you're able to do it. Also in this session, we will teach you how to link Cohort to Power BI, because in this era, we want to see data in real time. We want, if you're collecting data, you want to see quality issues in real time. So there's also a way you can actually link your data in real time to Power BI, and then once submissions are happening, you're able to refresh and see everything in real time based on what you probably decided, this is what I want to see during the data collection process. So we will also show you how to link that. But probably if we don't talk about it under the development of tool, the person who will tackle Power BI itself will also be able to show you how you can link your data that you've collected to Power BI and then just do your dashboards from there. So that's what we're gonna do. And then it's very long, just allow me to stop sharing this. I see myself still sharing it. But I think now I want to just move to the program itself. Guys, I'm not sure if we are typing things, if you're typing, is somebody typing? I'm trying. Oh, you've seen benefits in an interview panel. Okay, that's nice. Somebody has worked with Ezra. Oh, that's nice. See? Yeah. Okay, that's nice to know. Okay, so just allow me take us through based on the gaps. Let's quickly run through. I promise you this is the end of what we are gonna do in the, I think let me leave it. Can you see it clearly? Because this is important. I want you to be able to see it clearly. Just let me know if you can see it clearly, or I need to zoom out a bit.
Yeah, if you could zoom it a little bit.
Is that better? Or do I zoom more?
Yeah.
I think this. I
That
don't
is
need
okay
these
for me.
other objectives. Is that okay now? Brian, is that okay? The zoom size?
Yes, it's
Okay.
visible. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this schedule is drawn based on the assumption that we'll have 3 sessions in a week, just like we had cohort 2, because you have so much that you need to cover, but also we are adults. We are also people who work. I don't want to steal people's weekends. Weekends are for families, and trust me, even if somebody said, let's do the session on weekends, I will not do it. Because I really don't want to disorganize your weekends for your relaxing. You've been working from Monday to Friday, then on Saturday you're getting early in class. No, I'm not doing that. You need to spend time with your wife, eat together at least 1 or 2 days a week, because during the eating time for your family, you've been attending this session and you're becoming to look like a stranger to your family members. I'm not doing that. I'm human. So we're not, even if you want to think through which days we are going to do this, please make sure don't put weekends on it. This is just me saying it. I am sorry if somebody came with an intention that we'll have sessions on weekend. I'm really very human. I'm family oriented. I don't want to intrude in your family time. And also, one of the principles of accountability to affected person is do no harm. I don't want to cause gender-based violence in your families because your wife has cooked food every day during class, during supper time, you're in class. No. And then also on weekend, you're doing the same thing. That's not going to work. So forgive me, we'll have opportunity to think through the days, but let's just stay away from the weekends. But also, if you're going to make that decision, I'm going to give you my initial thoughts. If you're going to make that decision, when you're making the decision of when we are going to have these sessions, you already know it has to be 3 times a week. Please make it in a way that you have at least a day to do assignments, because it doesn't make sense. You're saying we do the sessions on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, when you also need to do assignments, and assignments are presented in the next session. So have that at the back of your mind as we go through this schedule. I just want to make that clear before we deep dive. So our first session, I'll be able to populate the dates once we agree, if we're okay with what I have initially thought. Then I'll be able to populate the dates and we will know when the program will end. But we have never run a program up to 6 weeks, but we are gonna run this program for 6 weeks, the way it looks now, because also there are things that you didn't say in your application, and I've really thought about them, and they're gonna be very important for you to have them as you practice meal. Some of them are already they're going viral. If you're in Uganda, you already know the issues of data protection, where Dr. Sarah Birete is already in custody. And it's not just that case study, but data protection is a really hot cake. It's a global concern. Companies are getting sued. People are being sued because of misuse of data. And I thought none of you spoke about this. But my moral imperative, guys, could not allow me, when I feel like this is great timing for you to think through this and not skip it out of this session. So I had that session. We've also had a session, none of you spoke about it, but like we said, we want you to leave this course really grounded. So people don't have jobs. There's one person who doesn't have a job. Maybe your field is actually, you might break into the M&E field. So how can we help you to have a better chance at passing the interview and staying in the interview? Remember, that was one of the objectives. Secure a job and sustain it. But then also, how can we help you navigate the politics in the work environment? If you're at a senior level, how do you manage people? Because these are very important. Do you understand your job description? Because trust me, there are people who look at their job description. If you ask them, this bullet, explain for me, what does it look like in real life? They don't know what that looks like. So those are things we want you to know what they mean. when we go through that session, you can pull out your job description and begin to think through it if you actually understand what your job description, because that's the beginning of failure at your job. If you don't have an understanding of what exactly you're supposed to do. That's how you're going to be malice during appraisal, because your manager will tell you, this is what I want you to achieve, and you will have no say. You've also not understood what they are meant. You just say, yes, let's do it. Then at the end of 3 months, you've done nothing and you're ejected out. Yeah. So we want you to be kind of empowered so that you can ask some questions. If your manager is asking, let's do, this is part of what you should be doing in your probation, is asking you to do an evaluation, to conduct an evaluation. It's already you sat for your meeting for the appraisal target setting in the 2nd month, and your probation is 2 months. You can't expect you to deliver that in 2 months. It's not like that's the only thing you'll be doing in 2 months. You have other day-to-day jobs that you need to do. So can you be able to really actually have conversations about some of these things, not just to sit and look like you actually don't know what you're doing? So it's kind of curated, very intentional, because like I said, we would want you to work. It might not be all-rounded and really properly grounded in the subject matter that you call yourself subject matter expert, but maybe to some level really grounded, and you have some level of understanding of what you should be doing. So those are things that we added there. None of you spoke about it, but we thought it's really important. Yeah. So session 1 we've already done today. So we are sharing this application data, the days. Already told you it's 3 times a week, approximately not more than 2.5 hours. Usually it's between 7 and 9. And it's been working considering the time zones where we are. I don't see anybody outside West Africa and East Africa, so it should be able to work fine with us. So our first session, will do the basic components of meal, what they are, what they mean, and do you actually know what a classical role of a meal person is? What are the key skills that you need to have, or if you don't have, you need to start building on in competencies? What are the best practices in meal? So we will talk about that. Very foundational, but very important. Because if you don't know what a person who is employed as meal does on a day-to-day basis, if you don't have any idea, then that's how you begin to get lost. But if you have an idea of what a meal person does, already you're a plus. Yeah. So we'll go through some of those basics. Like we said, foundational, because there are people who don't have the experience, but I've also told you earlier, don't close your mind. Be very open-minded. You might think you're an expert, but when we start articulating some of these issues, we start asking questions, you realize, oh my God, this is really exciting. I never thought about it from this perspective. So the other session 2, we will talk about how we use meal data, and some of you will probably give us examples of how you have actually used your meal data. And we'll talk about ethical principles. We'll talk about key shifts and trends in M&E. Very, very important, because if you're still in your old ways of thinking, you will be left behind. One of the things is that in one of our core values in continuous improvement is that we are lifelong learners. You don't attend this course and think that you're an expert in M&E. There are new things that are evolving every now and then. Your knowledge might be obsolete if you are not somebody who yearns for knowledge. So you need to have an idea of what are these key shifts and trends in the meal space. And then somebody who said they want something on project management, we'll talk about what are actually those activities that a male person does along the project management cycle. We will dissect that. And some of you probably, I've had people who have done proposals, there are people who are project management experts here, consultants. You might have an idea of what these things are. So just be open to sharing them. And then once we already understand what meal is, we've broken the concepts, we've talked through what activities, classical examples of activities that happen under some of those components are, then you have an idea of what your organization strategy is, what they are looking at. You should be able to come up with a comprehensive meal work plan for your department or for your organization if you're a country meal person. One of the things is you should really have a work plan for meal. So we would be able to see that there is a template that I will be able to share, and there's already something input there, so you can just look through it. Of course, after we've gone through this, you'll know already based on the activities or based on this project that I'm running. These are things that I need to plan for. Probably you participate in proposal design, you know what things were budgeted for, then you need to make sure they're reflected in the meal work plan as well. So your output is that you need to come up with a comprehensive meal work plan. Maybe it will come. Maybe we will shift this and it might come a bit later, but we'll see how this plays out. But one of the things I would be excited to see you come up with is an annual work plan, which is comprehensive. Then we'll do a theory of change. We'll look at how to develop that from a problem and objective tree analysis perspective. And then you should be able to develop a theory of change, of course, talking through the steps and how you can represent a theory of change. There's a lot of conversation that will happen here. It's too much here, and it's just 2 hours, but you will have assignments where you'll sit and do a case-based case-based case study where you will have to come up with a theory of change for this case study. And then we'll speak through the indicators, a bit of it. What are those good practices? If you're already in the maybe wash sector, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are already some list of sets of standard indicators in health. There are already standard indicators. But it's important that you have an idea of some of those things. And really also basics, what are the types of indicators that we have? There's already a shift from moving from SMART indicators to CREAM indicators, so we'll talk about that. And then how do you set targets for your indicators? Because that's also very important, especially when you're designing proposals. People have reasoning how they come up with targets. So you also need, when next you're sitting in a proposal design workshop and you've been charged to do the M&E pieces in terms of the results framework where you need to put a baseline and have a target, you should put a figure that you have reasoning to explain to the program team. There's a basis how you set a target. So that's also, we feel that that's important for you to cover that base. So you know, you don't just say, number of children who report with diarrhea, there are 10, and then my target in 1 year is maybe I want it to be 5. Why? Why are you wanting to reduce from 10 to 5? What's the reasoning? What's the decision that is driving you to set that target? You must have logic to that. So we'll speak about that as well. Sorry. And then we will speak about, of course, from a theory of change, you go to the results framework. And from the results framework, you'll go to the meal plan. I'm not going to give you these templates that people have online, which is like a Word document, which has what's the name of the project. I will just give you a template. Again, there are standard practice, and then there are things that people customize. Just like in any other field, there is like what's the basic? What should I know? There are other institutions that in their results framework, they do it in a separate, in a different way. When you go to another institution, they use a different template. But do they cover the basics? Because that's the most important question you need to answer. If the basics are not covered, then that's useless. If basics are covered and additional things are added, then you're covered. Yeah, so I'm not gonna give you that a meal plan which has the whole, it's like a Word document that has like 30 pages. I don't have time for that. I'm just gonna give you an Excel template where you populate what is important. When you want to do more reading and use that Word document of 30 pages, you know the basics. You know what needs to go there. You can then fill that. And then when we teach you that, your job will be from that theory of change, translate that to the results framework, translate that to the meal plan. Because there's logic, they need to fit into each other. So you will have an assignment where you guys will sit in your groups and develop this and present, and they will be critiqued and reviewed. Your own team, your teammates will critique, people in the class will critique before I critique and review the work as well. So the other thing that we'll talk about is evaluation, the qualitative approach and the quantitative. We're basically just going to talk about RCT in terms of the design. And we might have, I'm still trying to find dummy data. If not, I will use some data for some training. Dummy data to actually help you do, how do you analyze data to get impact when you're using RCT? Because it's also in terms of trends, sorry, I'm spilling the beans. In terms of trends, like that's the thing now. People want to see impact. People want to see attribution in contribution. You'll hear a lot of attribution. You'll hear a lot of contribution. People are not interested in percentage from this descriptive. No. How can you claim that this change is from your program? You need to be able to measure that. So we'll do a bit of that. We'll have the basics of covering what an RCT is, when does it apply, when is it not a good, in what situation would it not be a good design to use, and then we'll have some data and we'll use it to see how you can actually analyze and pick that effect. Yeah. And then we will do data collection. These things are going to build onto each other. If you have the results framework, you have the indicators, you'll have to think through what sorts of questions can I ask to answer this indicator, to be able to calculate this indicator. It might be very basic, so you'll have to think through in your groups what questions to put that will actually, because now we are thinking it will be an actual project for you, so that when you walk out of this program, it can also act as your portfolio, right? This is what I did. So you develop a results framework. From that, you think through the questions to ask, and then you design your data collection tools on Kobo, and then we can do dummy data. We can enter dummy data in using that questionnaire. And if you also have your questionnaire, as I already said earlier, you can use it and then develop the tools, and then we can link. And then we will talk about data protection, because guys, quite frankly, it's very important, the direction we are going. You don't have any ideas about data protection, you will cause your organization a great loss, but you might as well end up with a lawsuit as an individual. You know, they can sue an institution, but they can also sue you as an individual. So you really want to make sure you cover your bases and you have an idea of, as a male person, what should I be looking out for? If I'm doing interviews, I do success stories as part of a qualitative program, impact measurement. Can you make sure that you're designing consent forms? If you're taking people's pictures, you make sure verbal consent doesn't count now. You know, they used to tell us you can just ask people if you're in a focus group discussion to take their picture and attach. In court of law, that will not work, because have you recorded them when you are asking them, can I take, and can you keep that recording? It's not, so you have to devise means of making sure that everybody you take their picture and you're sure one way or the other, their pictures are going to either end up in your report, is going to be read by donors, or it might go up in your organization website. Many people are going to see you have approval of those people, that their pictures or videos are there. Otherwise, Ugandans know the story that has happened. I attend a lot of seminars on data protection because it's really something I'm passionate about. There's a lady who worked at a fuel pump. I think the fuel station or the company was trying to do a promotion. You know how they take their pictures. So she had pictures probably with them, and they put her on the product, like selling their product. They didn't seek her consent. The lady was just shocked. Our friends were telling her, oh, you're on this. It's like, what? And she sued them, and they had to pay her a lot of money. So simple things that we think it's useless. Like in your everyday work, sometimes you really tend to ignore this. And this is where, if you're a manager, if you're in charge of your team, it's very, very important that you stay in touch with your team, because at the end of the day, if something happens, you're the accounting officer for meal people. If you're the country meal manager, you are the accounting meal officer for meal. Whatever that junior meal officer does, they won't all them. It will be you, because you should have reviewed that. You should have had a look at it. You must have even cleared it before it went out. So how did you miss that? It speaks about many things. You're very incompetent. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing, or you're not in touch with your team. Your team is not being, it says a lot about you. So very important. That's why I put that. None of you put it, but I just thought it's important. You need to understand job description. Again, if you don't understand, you'll not do your job. Can you interpret your job description? What you have right now for people who work. Can you interpret every bullet point? Really, in day-to-day work, what does that translate to? How do you deal with appraisals? Managers who malice you. You need to know those tricks of, if I had this conversation with a manager, it shouldn't just be verbal. Go sit on your computer. Just say, hey, manager, oh, hi, Isaac, this was this conversation we had, and this is what we agreed on. Sam, you are covering your base. When he tells you that, oh, we never talked about this, he probably gave you an assignment on your goal, on the things that you need to do. You've even put it in your work plan. He brought in something. This is urgent. Leave the other things behind. You explain to him, these are things, this is the timeline. I need to be doing this. So advise me how to proceed. If you want me to prioritize this, know that this is going to be delayed. You don't just stop at talking. You make sure you put somewhere, either a Teams message, whatever, Slack or whatever you use, or email. Put it, dear sir, this is just a reference to our conversation we had this morning. You told me I need to prioritize this. This will be done later. You have sent. That's your evidence. When you come and sit in your appraisal, they're asking you, this is what you said you were going to do. You have not done it. You're incompetent. Pull out those evidence, because guys, you need to survive in the world of work. People are very dangerous out there. People will eject you, not because you're incompetent, but either because you're too smart and you're challenging them, and they're very afraid of you. So you also need to safeguard yourself. You have to learn some of these tricks. So we'll talk through some of those things, and then how can you prepare for interviews? I am planning on bringing actually an HR professional, but I'm also excited to hear that there's somebody who is in HR among the team. We'll see how that goes, if they want to be able to really speak to this, because I'm pretty sure they're in charge of recruitment. But also in this era, you need personal branding is very important. You cannot be doing good work, and if I ask you, you don't even have a LinkedIn profile. Are you going to climb to senior roles? For crying out loud, you don't have a LinkedIn profile. And that's the first thing everybody, actually for me, when I have a list of people I'm interviewing or I have to interview, they give me a list, whatever they would call a short list or a long list, and I might not even first look at your CV or resume. The first thing I'll do is just type you in LinkedIn and see what you have done. And then you type some people, you don't even find anything. You need to be visible. You're not going to climb ladders if you're just talking to people on site, your teams, or the partner organizations that you work with. Those are the only people who know about your good work. Are you going to climb up there? Your work needs to speak in your profile. So I'm also planning to bring someone, a personal branding coach, or someone who can just maybe take 1 hour and speak to you guys and see how you guys can elevate your profiles online, especially on the professional social media page, LinkedIn. And then we'll crown it up with Power BI, and then we will have graduation. So this is what our program looks like. 1,000 apologies. I speak a lot because I tried to avoid just presenting things the way they are and try to explain a little bit so you have a bit of context to kind of make you understand what it's about. I don't know if this is okay, but at this point, allow me to stop here. And I am pretty sure you have 1,000 questions because you haven't been speaking from the time we started. So now the floor is open for you guys to react, or if you have comment from the first presentation up to here. And then we can decide which days we can have the sessions and from what time. I can give you the days that I've already picked and the time, which really worked quite well for cohort 2. And looking at your profiles, you haul from similar countries. So I'm thinking that can also work. I'll present that and you have opportunities to think through it. But bear in mind that you have opportunities to do assignments. And so they need to be spaced in that you have days where you have opportunity to do assignments. So let me hear from you guys, and then we can close this off with that particular segment. There is no order. Anybody who is ready can just unmute and speak. Thank you for listening to those very many things. Okay, do we not have any feedback? I'm not sure how many people are here. Do we have feedback? Are you guys okay? I'm not sure.
We are
Okay, thank you, Betty. Okay, sorry.
Sorry?
Millie, it's okay, you can proceed. After you, Millie, it's okay.
All right, go ahead, Millie.
Now, I was just saying that we are okay, we are following. We've not just left our accounts open, but we are following.
We are in the session of any feedback, or if you have any amendments that needs to be done, or if you're okay with the session. If everything is fine, we can go to the next step of just agreeing on the days and time, and then we can call it. And then we need to agree on when we actually start actual sessions, which I think we shouldn't delay it because this is stretched. We have never done a 6 weeks course, so, and I don't want it to go beyond mid-February, so we need to close it before mid-February. So we need to agree whether we're starting this week or Monday or, yeah. So can we proceed?
We can proceed.
I think Joy, you're unmuted. Oh, okay. I think someone is writing something. Let me see.
Yes, let me come in briefly.
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you, Betty. Me, I'm only coming in for the days for the training. Probably we could start this week. If we can count today as one of the days already, then we have 2 more for the week, probably, instead of starting next week.
No, today we don't call it a session, we call it introduction. So the sessions
It's
are
okay.
actually meant to begin. This is
We
not
still
part
have
of the
3.
actual session. Yeah, we still have 3. Not for this week, but I'm thinking we need to start between Monday
Probably
and
next
Friday.
week.
We need to cover it. So let's just have conversations around that.
All right, okay. Let others contribute.
Yeah, thank you, Betty, for such a wonderful introduction session. For me, I think we should be good to agree on the timings and the days. I think most of the questions, as Brian has mentioned in the chat, you really answered them really well in the presentation. So I wouldn't say I have any questions per se, but just to now agree on the exact timings. But maybe a request would be if we can agree instead of maybe the 2.5 hour session in a day, because I'm seeing maybe it could overlap to 3 hours. If we can maybe settle to maybe 2 hours in a day, and then we do 4 sessions in a week as opposed to 3, because I feel maybe sometimes we could go up to 3 hours or more. Yeah, maybe to just factor in that. Thank you.
Okay, I think let me respond to that. We can actually work with 2. Let's just say we will work with 2. We usually try to keep within 2, but we give that extra 30 minutes just sometimes the conversations are really interesting and it gets longer. I would not advise for us to have 4 sessions in a week. It will be too much, especially for people who work. You also need time to rest. I think 3 makes a lot of sense. Okay. So here was my proposal. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And the time is same time, 7 to 9. This was what cohort 2 managed to work with. So we have a skip in between the days, just in case we have assignments, you get to do them. But also if you probably missed something and you want to go back and listen to the recording and maybe get a bit more clarity if you missed it the first time, you can use that other extra day to listen before you go into the next day. So if you guys are okay with that, we could go with that. But if there are any other suggestions, I'm okay to welcome them. I don't know what is 7 p.m. in Zimbabwe and Wiza, where you're from Zambia, right? Siwale. What is 7 p.m. in your time?
7 p.m. is 18 hours. So yeah, 18 hours, which is like 6 p.m.
6 p.m. Okay, so that works, right?
Yes, that works for me.
Okay, what about Zimbabwe? I think there's someone from Zimbabwe. Is there someone? No, Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is also in West Africa, right? You must be on the same time zone, I think. Siwale, are you on the same time zone with Burkina Faso? I'm just thinking. Or you're
I'm
not
not
sure?
too sure. I would have to Google it. Yeah.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
don't think. I
Brian, you
think
had your
yeah,
hand.
yes, I think there must be a 2 hours difference between
Okay.
Uganda and Burkina Faso, either ahead or behind. Should
Okay,
be
so
2 hours difference.
if we start at 7, that means if they are behind us by 2 hours, that's like 5. They are getting off
Mm.
work. It's really, I don't think it's too bad, because not every day we will have something that requires you to have a laptop. It's not that you will, so you could always also just plug in your earphone and listen to it on the phone on your way back home for people who work. I think that should work. For the
Okay.
Ugandan people, is that okay for you?
Okay. Maybe our colleague from Burkina Faso, maybe he'll have to confirm as we ascertain the exact time.
I
Yes.
will speak to him. I don't think he has joined. Like I said, he's the one who said he had a medical emergency with the wife at the hospital. So I will just speak to him like bilaterally after this call and figure out. But I think it shouldn't really be it shouldn't be a problem. I think we can work with that. So the rest of us are okay with this time?
Yeah, I had 2 things. First is for me the timing is okay. Also the days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm okay with that. And also the timing. And my question was about the facilitators. In your presentation, I think they are not available. They have not been around during this orientation. So I just wanted to understand the nature of the sessions. What exactly will be the role of these facilitators? Shall we be listening from them, or shall we be sharing our experiences? That is really what I'm so much interested in. Thank you.
Okay, I apologize. I'm also a facilitator. Just to, I think I should have probably put myself in the program team, but also in the facilitators. You probably see a lot of me facilitating, and you might see another person for the evaluation methods or research methods, and then you're probably gonna see another person for the Power BI class. But you might see a lot of me more than a lot of the other facilitators. So let me just clarify that. So in terms of how we deliver the program, we don't teach, we facilitate. I hope we know the difference. We learn from you as you learn from us. So a lot of the things will be asking, so what has been your experience of monitoring? What is your day-to-day job? If you're a male officer, 4 of you are male officers, we'll probably ask you when you go to work on a day-to-day, what is it that you do? And maybe what are those other one-off things that you did? And we listen to you. And then we can add on other things. So it's a lot more of facilitation and sharing. But still, we have presentations that we can run through them. We listen to you speak, and then we just project the presentation. If there's anything that we might have missed that you guys have not talked through it, and it's part of the presentation, we can easily just speak through them. But a lot of it is just gonna be sharing. We'll do facilitation. We're not teaching in this program. We are facilitating. I hope that answers your question. Oh, someone is saying they are not okay with Friday. I think the SDA, they pray on Saturdays, so they have to use Fridays to prepare. So do we have an alternative? Can we do Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday? And then probably Friday, maybe if there were things you needed to present that you should have used like Thursday to do it, then we kind of push presentations to, we teach on like a Thursday and then we push the presentations to like a Monday. Can that work? Because you're not very many and I really would want everybody to engage in the session. So I don't know, what options do we have? How can we support this other person so that they don't miss that session? Because all these sessions are important. Okay, someone is saying Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, they second that. Are we okay with it? And then we can amend. And then we just make sure if there are any presentation, they're pushed to Monday. I think it also kind of gives you time if you want to catch up on Saturdays before you, maybe between 11 or something, you sit in your group, discuss before you get to go watch soccer and all of that. Could also be a great opportunity to discuss. I don't know. But we need to come to a conclusion of this, guys. We are way beyond by 1 hour and I am feeling so bad already. So are we agreeing to Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday?
Let's work with that for now and we'll see how it goes.
Okay, defense, you had it on.
I also agree. Yes. Let's work with that. I'm flexible, so that still works. Yeah.
Okay, someone was saying we create a poll. We are very free. We are very few. I don't think we should. I don't think we should create a poll. I don't want you to think that I'm dictating. But do we really need to create a poll for this? I think we are few. We can agree on here. And one of the things for learning is that one of the principles here is that we are professionals, we agree respectfully or disagree respectfully. So if you have any contribution, don't feel intimidated. This is your space, you own it, nobody owns it. It's not defined for just Lorna or Defense or Brian. All of you own this space and you should feel okay to share your opinions without feeling intimidated. I would feel we don't need to create a poll for this. Shana, I think so. We are few. We can actually agree.
Okay, thank you. I would like to know those who maybe those who have some preoccupations on Friday, who think Friday is not okay. Is it only one person who feels maybe they have to prepare for the Sabbath? But otherwise, me, I'm flexible. I just wanted to understand, is it one or two other
It's one
persons?
person, but that matters because we're not
Okay.
many. We want to accommodate everyone. So we kind of need to be human. Just consider if you had, let's ignore the amount right now. Just imagine it was $500. And out of all these 6 weeks, we have 6 weeks. You're missing one of those sessions. How many of those sessions are? And these build onto each other. So it might look like it's just a statistical number, but it's actually important if you look at it from the perspective of why we are actually building this. So, but I see a lot of us are flexible. So can we take Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday? I'm sorry, I might have to close this now because I don't think
okay with
we
me.
will. Okay, so it's Monday, Thursday, and Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'll send a calendar invite for all of those sessions, and then let's agree. Are we starting this Monday? That needs to be clear. Then we move on. Monday, And then Monday next week, which is tomorrow, is Sunday. So after Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, are we starting this Monday? Because we need to also agree on that. But I've also already guided you guys. We can't push this to another week. I don't want us to go beyond 15th of February. So it feels like kind of dictating it, but I feel like let's be reasonable here. Let's start. Allow me dictate. Let's start on Monday if that's not a problem. Okay, Millie, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Yes, I was saying we start on Monday because you know what's likely to happen on around 15th. Network issues. It's likely to affect our learning time. So please.
Thank you for reminding me. Oh my God. I feel like I need to make this final communication before we close. Guys, for those who are not in Uganda and those who are not Ugandans, and maybe who don't follow global news, we have elections, a general presidential election coming up on 15th January. And we already know what happens during elections. We've already seen precedents in other countries. They shut off internet, oh my God, I almost forgot that. So just know between around 12 already things might be heating up. 13, 14, 15. We might be in some chaos. I don't want chaos, honestly. I would wish that we have a peaceful election because nobody wants chaos. For some of you who said you worked in peace and conflict resolution, it's not something nice to be a part of. But yeah, we'll have a general election, and already we know the pictures. Internet shut down, so probably I'll really be on the lookout and make sure I send you a notice if we really, because people also leak these things. We have seen from past elections, people leak and I don't know who gets this information, but it somehow gets to mainstream media that internet is going to be shut on this and this a day. So before election days, we will know. And I should be able to kind of communicate it. But just in case it happens abruptly, you log in and you don't see anybody, just begin to imagine. Around that time, just begin to imagine that we have been locked out and we don't have a way forward. If that happens, it's okay, we will prolong the program because it's not your fault and it's not anybody's fault. Whatever happens, we are committed, we need to finish the program. So that's what we're gonna do. And thank you, Millie, for really raising this up. Okay, with that said, I think I would like to just appreciate you for being patient, but also bearing with me. I tend to speak a lot. I don't know how to do abstract. Yeah, sorry, also my health has been terrible, so I've been coughing and interrupting the class somehow. I hope I get better. I should have actually gone to the hospital. I thought I would end early, but either way, I need to go to the hospital right now. But yeah, I'll see you guys on Monday. I will, on the WhatsApp group, I will post a link to the Google Drive where this material is going to be, this particular material, and all other subsequent materials will also be uploaded there. So I'll give you a Google Drive folder for that in the group. And also, if you see people being removed from the WhatsApp group, don't be alarmed. It only makes sense that you get the value that you paid for. Those who did not pay for don't get to get the value. That's the deal, guys. There is nothing like, knowledge is expensive. And people who invest in it know how valuable it is. It's not fair to you that people who haven't met the program requirement actually get to enjoy the benefits. So if you see people being removed, please don't be alarmed. I'm just removing people who are not supposed to be on that platform. Because the idea was we give you a link to join so you're up to date. with the hope, because people who are added there are actually people who confirmed, even in email, that they will participate. But surprisingly, they didn't meet the program requirements. So they'll be exited out of the group. Don't worry, even if you find yourself 2, but you'll not be 2. At least you'll be above 10. That's okay. Just want to also alert you, but maybe for the first or 2 sessions, we'll let them stay. There won't be harm in that. I'll have to think about it because it's still not fair to you either way. But yeah, so those are important communication I wanted to make. With that said, guys, allow me to just wish you a good night, and I'll see you on Monday. Thank you for your time.
Hey,
Good
thank
night.
you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.